Hello and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking. Today we will be going over how to chop onions, bell peppers, and shred cheese. It's kind of a very simple technique. I very much had to kind of learned how to do it on my own before I really started watching people because I don't know why, I just did. So hopefully this will help you and let's get to it. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to cut an onion. This is normally how I like to cut onions. It's pretty simple. You really do need to watch yourself, but one thing you will need is you do want a good knife. You want one with a straight edge. You don't necessarily want one with a serrated edge. This will cut it cleaner and a little bit quicker than your serrated edge. So Alright, so once you have your knife, what you want to do is just start by kind of cutting off the end here. Kind of toss out the skin. What you want to do is just kind of, you don't want to go too far down. Just kind of cut it the best you can. So now what you're going to do is you have some of this extra skin here. You can either peel that off, or your best bet is actually just take the first layer that has the skin and kind of peel it off and throw it away or put it in your composter or however you want to do it. Don't worry if you kind of get the second layer a bit, just kind of peel it. You want to do that, you definitely do not want to cook the skin, it will not taste good. Alright, so as you can see here, I have a nice solid bigger base on this one, so what you want to do is you want to put that down and go ahead and cut that in half. Now once we do that, you see the middle here, just kind of want to take that out. That does not cook well in my opinion, but if you'd like to keep it in and use it, that is entirely up to you. Alright. So I'm going to show you kind of two ways. So the first way I like to do it, well, both ways, these onions are going to be a little bit larger chop. This is what I personally like. So what you want to do here is create an arch with your hand, kind of just push on the onion and take your knife, kind of slide it out. Just be very careful, as you can see, kind of holding it, and just kind of push down. Now what we're going to do on this one, we're going to hold it kind of back. We don't want the knife necessarily at your fingertips. What we're going to do is we're just going to chop. You can kind of slide them off. They will stick to the blade a little bit. As you see, these are a little bit bigger chunks. Just going to cut those. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to dice the next set. As you can see, these are a little bit bigger to go into your cooking, but I like it this way. I feel like you get a little bit better crunch when you bite into it. Okay. Alright, now for the dicing, we're going to do it the same way. We're going to go ahead and cut, and if you can get one more in there, go ahead and cut and kind of pull. I know I did that long ways, but the same mechanics apply as doing it the other way. So now what we're going to do for the dicing, what you want to do here, actually what you want to do first is we're going to take an arch, and then what we're going to do is you want to hold the knife down here at the end, and then just kind of slowly push down, and then roll it back up. You can see I cut down, and then I roll right back up, just like one of those old paper cutting boards at school that you see. So then what you want to do is kind of slowly slide it and just go up and down. up and down. As you can see here, the autofocus on this. So as you can see here, these are much smaller cuts than what we had before. If you like doing it this way, be my guest, but we're going to go ahead and chop the rest of the onion like this. Now some of your little dicing though will be good for like tacos and stuff like that, but I prefer the bigger ones for cooking a lot of my dishes. And you probably see people speed run this on other videos. Those are actually really cool. So once you get more used to it, you'll chop it a little bit quicker, maybe even a little bit finer. Go ahead and go for 2. You can see the knife is slicing right through that. That's why you really want a straight edge knife to kind of really just kind of get through it. So, all right, so that is really how you cut an onion. So also kind of just be safe, especially with this. And now we're actually going to move on to the bell peppers. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and cut the bell pepper. We want to use the same style knife. We want to go ahead and use a flat edge knife. What you can use sometimes, you can use a little bit smaller straight edge. Just anything with a good blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lay your bell pepper sideways. We're going to cut off the end. We're actually just going to cut it straight down like this. And go ahead and take your excess and throw it away or put it in the composter. Now the top here, you're going to see you have a stem. What you want to do is kind of just cut a little bit below that. Just kind of do the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, go ahead and toss that. All right, so now you can see you have the middle portion here that has the seeds. Now what you can do if you'd like, you can save the seeds and grow them later. But I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to cut this out. So here's what I like to do on this. And what you normally want to do is you want to have it like this when you're cutting. I'm going to show you how to do this way. And so what you want to do is just take your knife, just kind of cut the sides off. It's be a little bit easier standing down. Just like this. You see? So then what you want to do is just kind of push it out. Now you might not cut it all the way, just kind of keep pushing until it tears out. So now you can also see you have where it connected to the bell pepper. We're actually just going to chop that off. So what I like to do now is just kind of line up my blade where it's on the opposite side of these two. And just kind of cut down and then cut down. So as you can see, I've done the majority of it. I do not like to cook with this portion. So then once you have that, just go ahead and cut just like this. Just kind of chop out as much as you can. Save as much of the bell pepper as you can. All right, this one we're just going to cut into strips to begin with, and the next one we're actually going to dice. All right, so now we're actually going to go ahead and dice this bell pepper. So now we're going to cut it the same way. Just going to cut off the bottom. This one's a little bit shallower at top. Just cut down. And we're going to go ahead and always remember to keep the blade away from you as you can. And you kind of want to rotate this. I forgot to mention the first one. Kind of rotate it so the blade, as you're cutting it, the blade is facing away from you. Alright. Just kind of push that down. Cook with a couple of the seeds. It's not going to be a problem. You just kind of want to get off and take the sticker off. Kind of toss that out if there's one on there. now what we're going to do, first we're going to cut it into strips, like we did with our onion. We're going to cut these in a little bit bigger strips. You can cut them into smaller ones for this. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to actually test them. So what you want to do is just kind of, you can either group them together or you can kind of line them up how they just were. And just like the onion, you want to take the knife and hold it down. Just press down. You see you got a lot of nice diced pieces there. Alright, so now we're going to go over how to shred cheese. So what you want to do is, if you have a grater like this, this is probably your best option. If not, if you have a KitchenAid mixer, they do have attachments, and they do have other machines that will shred your cheese. I'll go ahead and put a timestamp out there from my chicken and chorizo video on how to use the cheese shredder for your mixer attachment. So just really quickly, some features. So as you can see, you've got the big holes here. Those are going to cut your big ribbon type cheeses. This is the one I like to use for making my queso. You've got the side here. You've got your, this is going to cut it more into slices, is what it's going to do. You got your side here. You have your side here. You've got very small holes. This is going to be a very fine cheese, so if you have like Parmesan cheese or very hard cheese, you want to use this, and this is good for like pastas and stuff if you want to put some cheese on top of it. Your next one is kind of a small one. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to shred the cheese. So I have an 8-ounce bar here. Now, your best bet on something like this, just kind of split it in half, or the best you can. And then just take it and go down. What I like to do sometimes is just turn it upright like this, or turn it sideways. Both ways get you the cheese that you're wanting. Or sometimes what I like to do here is just take the top front of it, just kind of go down like this. Alright, as you kind of get lower here, obviously you're going to have less and less. Your fingers are going to be closer to the grater, so just kind of try to get off as much as you can. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of stop here with this amount. Not much, it's just kind of not being any more useful. So you can see you've got a nice amount of cheese in here. And the rest like this, if you want to just cook it with that, how you do, or if you're sprinkling, just kind of break it up into chunks, or just eat it as a quick snack while you're cooking. Nothing wrong with that. Cheese is always good. Alright, so pretty much got as much cheese as we can from this. So as you can see, it's a very simple item. If you'd like to see more kind of basic videos like this, please let me know. But if you like all these videos, please like and subscribe, and let me know how I did in the comment. So have a good rest of your day, folks.